David
S.
Pumpkins.
As a D&D character.
He's his own thing.
Welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds, by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and as usual, I'm joined by this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
Don't be haunted by those missed D&D videos by hitting that subscribe button.
And you won't need to ask what Nerdarchy is if you ring that notification bell.
Alright, so we are going to D&D Eyes make David S. Pumpkins, the Saturday Night Live character, as a D&D character. We're going to put a character sheet for David S. Pumpkins down in the description below. It'll be a D&D Beyond character sheet. Might as well mention that D&D Beyond is one of our sponsors. They make creating characters, looking up information for anything official D&D so much easier. It's our go-to resource for D&D.
You know, it's really great. You can roll your dice right there on the character sheet. You can use the encounter builder to plan and run your encounters, straight off of the site. It's super awesome. I use it for every game that I'm running and every game that I'm planning. You got to check out D&D Beyond.
All right, so let's jump into it. Like we said, that link to the character sheet will be down below, so you can see what we come up with. We're not doing our usual 1 through 20. We don't know that the David S. Pumpkin entity is quite that powerful. He's got some abilities that he's that we've seen in his Saturday Night Live skits, as well as the extended animated special.
So I watched both of these things. I'm well behind the times. Didn't really get into David S. Pumpkins until this bizarre concept was brought to us, and we're like, hey, why not give this a shot? Why not check this out? It's kind of hysterical, so let's go for it.
All right.
So if you're not really familiar with who he is, you definitely want to check this out. So where are we going to start out, Dave?
Well, Tom Hanks plays David S. Pumpkins, so I think he's a human. Or at least he appears to be human.
Well, there is that. I mean, you could definitely go in several different directions depending upon the abilities that you see David S. Pumpkins using. But I think for simplicity's sake, and due to a couple different things, I say I think David S. Pumpkins is human.
So with that, we can move into backgrounds, right? So we get a couple ideas. He's kind of entertaining. He's got those snazzy dance moves, and he keeps threatening to scare us with his song. So I mean that screams one background above all others.
Well, the entertainer background would be very beneficial for that type of character, but I do believe that word of threat and not actually doing it seems to really, push that one off the table as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
because really, he talks and he does this. That's not really all that entertaining, in my opinion. So it's his, backup dancers, if you will, that really do the entertaining when he's around.
Well, sometimes he does this, too. So.
Oh, well. So there is, two other options as I see it. You could totally, because he's a Halloween-based, character, you could totally go with the haunted one, and that's why he's got skeletons, putting the air quotes there. Or you could just have some fun with it and totally go with the variant background for Noble, going with Knight. And that's why he's got, his backup dancers. They're humans. Their skill is perform, and they totally do their dance. And that's how it all goes down.
Yeah, the third one gets alternated out. Yeah, so they could be skeletons or skeletons in a costume. So whichever way you find more entertaining.
I'm totally down with their humans. They're just in a costume, and it's hysterical because it fits.
Now, for character classes, I feel like there's several different ones we could kind of look at. I mean, you can look at the Bard. You can look at Cleric, Death, or Grave Domains. I mean, he does have skeletons, right? Or you could also look at possibly the Wizard Enchanter you mentioned, or even a Necromancer.
So I did not see him as a necromancer because he was traveling with skeletons, not necessarily, giving the vibe to me as a necromancer. So I had to really watch the video a couple of times and break down the interactions and what he does. So to me, his voice was doing to again, my opinion, he was doing that whole enchanter route. I'm going to cast things like, suggestion and fear and that kind of regard. So to me, boom, that was where I was leaning towards. And, you were like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? So that was where I was going.
But ultimately, I don't think this has to be a particularly complex build off of what we know about David S. Pumpkins. And really, you can get it all done with Bard, right? You get some of the entertainer stuff if you need to put that in there. You get plenty of spell casting in there as well. I feel like that definitely works.
Bards get access to Charm Person, Suggestion, Fear. That covers the basis for what I would have been leaning towards with an enchanter build. So that covers that, and as you said, it covers all of the performance angle of things. Where are we looking as far as the special college, if indeed this character gets high enough level to be a subclass?
All right, so I feel like he does need to get a subclass, only because, right, I feel like he's going to scare the hell out of you, right? And we know he's going to scare the hell out of you because he keeps telling you he's going to sing a song and scare the hell out of you. Dude, I totally feel like this is a glamour bard.
Okay.
He's snazzy,
right.
he's got the look, he's got the presence. Like, that's his whole thing, is just being there, right? That's the glamour bard to me.
Because I'm David S. Pumpkins.
Exactly. And like we said, we had the character sheet down below. We threw some things in there. See what you think. What did we hit the mark? How would you build David S. Pumpkins in your game? With that, if you enjoyed us doing this fictional character and kind of turning them into a D&D character, we have a whole playlist where we D&D-ize characters. You can check that out up here someplace.
If you enjoy what we create on YouTube, then you might want to check out what we're creating over on Patreon.
We create 5e content for players and DMs alike every month, monthly fan games, and more.
So until next time, any questions?